stuff that we played, but the guys, we've kind of got it together and fell into a pretty good rhythm right now. We're playing some pretty good basketball, but yeah, so far it's been a really fun season.
Well, and just coming off a big win over Madisonville the other night over there, and wins at Madisonville are kind of few and far between.
Yeah, they are. It's a really tough place to play. They've got so many good athletes in the program at Madisonville, and Coach Newton coaches those guys up so well. He's got them so ready to play, and it's always a tough environment to go into and play. But yeah, we got a really good win over there. We felt like both teams were both a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot of energy in the gym. I was a little bit worried about it in warm-ups, but we found a way to win in the end, and that was a great win for our guys and a great win for our program.
Well, at this point, I'm just kind of glad we're playing ball because, last year we had all the COVID stuff, and this year the weather's trying to get us. And at this point, it's just nice to get back in a gym someplace and kind of feel like it's a little bit normal.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We keep telling our guys every practice we get and every game we got, we need to be thankful for that because you never know when it's going to be, taken away in the world of COVID right now. It's with the new variant, it's kind of running rampant everywhere, and we're thankful that we're getting the opportunity to play, and we're thankful that we're getting the opportunity to play in front of fans. I mean, it was hard last season playing, those games and only having a few fans or parents in the gym and that kind of thing. So we're really excited. We've had some good crowds this season and some good atmospheres, and I'm really happy for our seniors to be able to get those guys get those fans back in the gym and experience that high school basketball in front of a packed gym on a Friday night against a rival school. I mean, it's kind of hard it's hard to beat that.
I mentioned a whole lot last season that you don't realize the impact that cheerleaders and fans and bands have on a game atmosphere until they're all not there.
100%. I mean, it was eerie the first few times that we played last season when we didn't have cheerleaders and we didn't have fans. It was really, really odd, just a quiet gym. But yeah, the fans and the cheerleaders and the atmosphere, I mean, they make high school basketball, and we have a lot of good fans, a really strong fan base at Lyon County. We have a large cheerleading squad that's got a lot of cheerleaders that do a really good job and have been doing it for a long time, and it just adds a lot to the environment.
I've said for a long time that Lyon County has one of the best home court advantages in the second region.
Yeah, it is. We have really good fan support, and the gym set up for a good atmosphere, and it's about the right size. And when we get that thing filled up on a Friday night against a district team or a rival game or a game that's really, really important, the place is rocking, and it's a whole lot of fun.
We're talking this morning with Lyon County boys basketball head coach Ryan Perry. Need to get to a break on the show, but we'll come back and talk about the All-A Classic and some other things as we continue on the Sideline Report here at 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Need cash fast? Get the money you need. Call ABC Finance now.
Did you know 7 out of 10 people overspent during the holidays and are now worried about recovering from this?
If you're one of the 7, don't worry, we can help at ABC Finance.
Hi, this is Jody Lamb at the Princeton ABC Finance location.
And this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville location.
And we can help you recover from the holidays with easy payments you can afford.
At ABC Finance, we provide loans up to $15,000.
We are locally owned and staffed, and decisions are made quickly, usually within an hour.
No appointment is needed. Walk-ins are welcome.
You can even give us a call and we will take your application over the phone.
Or you can apply online at abcfinanceonline.com.
ABC Finance in Hopkinsville on Fort Campbell Boulevard next to O'Charlie's, and in Princeton Plaza. ABC Finance. All loans subject to normal credit approval.
Goodwin Insurance Agency and Woodall Agency have great news. Effective January 1st, they have joined forces to provide even more options for all your insurance needs. Together, they provide the best prices and coverage from top-rated insurance companies and insure all lines of insurance. See Tori Hammett or Fred Foltz, or go to insurewithgoodwin.com for more information. Don't pay too much for your insurance. Let them shop for you and save today.
Christian Care Center of Katawa is now Landmark of Katawa. The ownership and name have changed, but the caring and commitment from the staff and administration is the same. Landmark of Katawa cares for their residents, and you can be assured your loved one will be treated with the dignity, courtesy, and compassion they deserve. The residents are friends and family to them, and they do their best to ensure that each one lives to the fullest of their ability, nurturing body, mind, and spirit. Call Landmark of Katawa 270-388-2291.
Happy New Year, Pennyrile Electric members. With each new year, it becomes even more important that Pennyrile Electric has your most up-to-date contact information on file. By updating your account information, you ensure that Pennyrile Electric can best communicate usage and outage information with you. Plus, if you update your information before February 28th, you'll automatically be eligible to win one of several great prizes. Do it today at PRECC.com or stop by and see us. Best wishes for an amazing year from Pennyrile Electric.
Back on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Talking with Lyon County boys basketball head coach Ryan Perry. Lions off to a great start this season. Some say Lions are the regional favorites this year, but Ryan, if you look around the second region, seems like everybody's a little bit better this season than they were last year.
Yeah, I was looking at that the other day. The second region's loaded with some good teams and loaded with a lot of good players. I mean, it seems like more than usual. There's some guys that have really come into their own this season. I tell you, Jay Brown Spikes is one that, to me, is made a transformation from how he played last season to this season. It's just been amazing. I mean, the kid is playing great basketball, and he's completely transformed his game. He's elite. He is elite. And he's going to be able to play basketball at the next level, and he's one that has really stood out. And I'll tell you, the Eves kid, Marcus Eves over at Hopkins Central, is another one. We played him the first game of the season up at Hopkins Central, and we couldn't do anything with him. I mean, he did. Luckily, we scored more points than they did, but we had a tough time stopping him. He was, he's got a good body, and he's physical, and he was playing with confidence, and he's another one that's really taken off. But I was looking through some of the stuff on KHSA, and we've got several kids. The Downey kid from Livingston County is putting up some big numbers, and I know the Champion kid over at Crittenden County, and the second region's just got a lot of really good players in it this year.
Yeah, for Jay Breon, he was always a good basketball player, but he came back this year a lot stronger, a lot hungrier, and knew he would have a good season, but I don't know if we'd be sitting here talking about scoring 31 a game.
No, he's an absolute handful. I mean, the kid is special. He's playing inspired basketball this season. Coach Cookie got that whole team playing. I mean, they are really playing good. They got a lot of good players on the team, and they're well coached. And Jay Breon's kind of leading that, and he's a handful to try to scheme against. I mean, he's a really good player. I'm proud for him. He's a good kid, and I'm really glad to see him kind of getting what he deserves here, because he's a really good kid.
And that Hopkins County Central team's a relatively young team. I mean, they're starting to gain some experience. They kind of look to me like they're at right now where Caldwell was last year, which was they would play everybody close for most of the game and then couldn't get over the hump at the end. Caldwell kind of figured out how to win a little bit this year, but Hopkins Central's kind of in that we're playing everybody close, but we just can't push it through in the fourth quarter and get that win.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that comparison for sure. Michael's got those guys over there on the right track, and they're playing a fun brand of basketball, and he's doing a good job getting those guys coached up and getting them prepared and ready. And I think they're going to be really, really dangerous. I mean, we got them on the schedule again. I think it's our last game of the season. They're going to be really, really dangerous in the regional tournament, and towards the end of the season, I think they're going to be a really, really good team. And next year, I can't remember exactly how many guys he loses, but he's got a real nice core coming back next year. So I know Eves will be back. So that program and team's going to be they're going to be a handful.
Union County looks to me like it should be playing well. I don't think they've quite put it together this season yet either, but another kind of scary team out there when the regional rolls around.
Yeah, at 100%. I try to keep tabs on, like it's hard nowadays to look at the scores and really get much out of it without watching the film, because with the COVID protocols and everything, you really never know, who actually played and who was quarantined and who didn't play. And I think that's Union County a little bit this season is they've had a few losses that were uncharacteristic when maybe they didn't have their whole team. But yeah, when that group gets their whole team together, they're very talented and are really, really tough out in the regional tournament. Then you got, of course, all the Christian County schools.
Yeah.
All three of those teams are athletic and can play. And I've been watching a little bit of film on Hopkinsville, and I think Hopkinsville looks to be. I mean, they look really tough to me right now. I think it's going to be a really good team throughout the rest of this season and come tournament time. So, Coach Babb's got some good talent over there, and they got them playing really good. That's a good team.
Both Christian County and UHA are pretty young right now, but you can kind of see they're building as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Both Christian Counties look like they've made a lot of progress since last year. They're a good dangerous team. And UHA the same. I watched them. That's the first time I've seen them in person this year, but I watched them a little bit whenever we were over at the All-A last weekend and the game against Caldwell. And, they played good and hard. And they got a lot of young guys. You're right. They got a lot of talent and a lot of athleticism on that team. And Melvin, he coaches those guys up really hard in the right way, and that's going to be a really dangerous team too. I mean, there's a lot of good teams in the second region this year.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying all year, that last year we kind of looked around and everybody was kind of young and maybe down a little bit. Well, seems like everybody got older and better.
Yeah, that's exactly the case. The basketball in the second region is a lot better this year than it was last year, in my opinion. And a lot of that has to do with maturity and growth of the players, with everybody being so young. But it's going to be it's going to be really interesting in the district tournaments, and it's going to be a really exciting regional tournament, I believe.
Speaking of tournaments, you guys recently won the All-A Classic second region tournament. Second year in a row you guys have won that thing. And talk about how important the All-A Classic is for a smaller school like Lyon County.
It is. It's really important. It's the first big goal that you have on your schedule whenever you make your schedule out, and it's one of the things that the players all look forward to and really get excited about, because it used to be about missing a few days of school or whatever to go play basketball. And our guys they seemed pretty hungry this year, and they were we got a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth last year after we went up, and then the weather got us and it changed it around completely and changed the format of it. So they really wanted to experience that thing again. So they were pretty hungry. And they played well, and we played well in our All-A games. I was pleased with how we played, and I was very glad for our guys that they got the opportunity to win and go back. But it was tough games. I mean, we had really, really hard competition the whole way, and Caldwell County played us so hard in the championship game. They were as deserving to go to the All-A as we were. Honestly, I mean, they played us very, very tough. It's a very, very good team. We were just fortunate to get that win.
Well, last year you guys actually made the trip up to Richmond, then didn't get to play. But if there is a silver lining, you guys did find a game to play on that court, so you're at least kind of familiar with it.
Yeah, that's right. It was wild. I remember I got a call at like 7 o'clock in the morning on the day that we left, when the weather was supposed to hit that afternoon, and it was basically said, if you guys are planning on going and playing, you need to get on the road by 8 o'clock. And so we scurried the team together and some parents that we could get, and we headed out and made it up there. So they canceled the tournament the next morning when it was supposed to start. And the teams that were already in town, I think there was 4 or 5 of us in town, they scheduled us against each other, so we got a game in Eastern. So we actually played Walton Verona up there at Eastern Kentucky before we left Richmond, and it was a good experience for our guys to get to play on that big court. And that, hopefully that's going to help us this year when we go back up there and play. We lost that game to Walton Verona by, I can't remember, it seems like 5, 6, 7, 8 points, something like that. Walton Verona was a really good team last year, and they've got pretty much everybody back this year. So I think they're going to be a good team up there in that bracket that's going to have a chance to win some games.
When you play on the court up at Eastern Kentucky University, of course, it's a little bit longer than a high school court. Is that even something you ever bring up to anybody? Is it something you game plan or anything? It
is. We have not played a good game yet on one of the larger courts that I can recollect since I've been at Lyon County. We've played several games up at the Owensboro Sports Center, which is the same size court, and seems like we've struggled in all those games. And I don't know if it's the shooting backdrop, or I don't know if it's the size of the court. our team success comes a lot on defensive pressure and pressuring guys, and it seems like it's a little bit more room to get away from us and get away from our guys and that kind of thing. So we kind of joke about it that we've struggled a little bit on the big court. So, we're going to try to get on maybe a college-sized court a couple times before we play next week, just to get that shooting backdrop and to get the feel of where our guys need to be, since we haven't actually had any practices on the big court, where we need to be at and that kind of thing. So hopefully that's going to help us.
Well, we saw that with the Kentucky Wildcats last night at Texas A&M, and it seems like every time the Cats go down there, they shoot the ball horribly. And so that always makes me think, well, maybe there's a goofy background or something. The depth perception is thrown off, and, different gyms are different.
Yeah, it is. It's tough in some of those environments and those backdrops to find the rim, and then especially whenever everybody in the backdrop has on white shirts, it doesn't help at all. But both teams are playing on, the same end of the court. But yeah, Kentucky, we struggled for 85% of that game last night and found a way to win in the end. So that was good. But yeah, the shooting, I'm hoping that we, can get some practice in on the big court with the odd backdrop, and maybe that help us a little bit with our shooting, because that's something we're definitely going to need to do to compete next week, is we're going to have to shoot the ball good.
Talking this morning with Lyon County boys basketball head coach Ryan Perry. And you mentioned the All-A Classic and going to state. For Lyon County, it's girls and boys. So will there be anybody left in Lyon County when you guys head up to state?
I don't know. I think I told either Mr. Tilford or Mr. Radovanek the other night before our game, if we win this game, they may just shut Eddyville or shut Lyon County down next week, and we had a laugh about it. But it's really cool that both of our teams get to go. I mean, it seems like most of the time, if one of us wins and one of us doesn't, then you got half the people excited and half the people disappointed because they lost. And this time, everybody was excited about it, and it was something that was really neat. I tell you, those girls, they had a really good win against Crittenden County at Lyon County in their first game. They played really, really good. And after they won the game against Livingston County, I told a couple of our coaches that I felt like it put a lot of pressure on us going over there. I knew how hard our game with Caldwell was going to be, and our girls had already taken care of business. So I felt like that put just a little bit of pressure on us to hold our end of the deal up and get that done. So that was kind of interesting. But our girls are playing really good right now. Coach Cottom and her staff, man, they've got those girls bought in, and they're playing hard and they're playing the right way, and they're playing kind of exciting brand of basketball. So and I get to benefit from that too, because I've got a daughter that plays on that team, and so our household was a little double excited with that. So it's really cool.
Now, you guys have Breathitt County in your opener. I think the girls get Campbellsville.
Yep.
What do you know about Breathitt County?
They're pretty good. I mean, I think they're 14-2. I know I've seen several of the game films. They went, they won some good teams down in Destin, Florida, in the Christmas tournament they won earlier in the season, and they're a really good ball team. They got some nice size. They got a 6'8" left-handed kid inside who's pretty athletic. They've got a 6'6" guy that plays like a center forward spot that may arguably be maybe one of their best players. He's a really good player. And then they've got a really good guard, Austin Sperry, who we've seen a lot in AAU basketball. He's a freshman, but he's a really good ball player. And they got a couple shooters to go with those guys. So they're big and they're physical, and they press kind of like what we do. They put a lot of shots up and put a lot of points on the board. Really well coached team. It's going to be a big challenge for us in that first game. I think it's a pretty good Breathitt County team we're going to play.
With the schedule you guys have faced this season, though, you have to feel like you guys are kind of prepared for anybody at this point.
Yeah, I think so. That's one of the things I think that helped us get through that Madisonville game the other night. Maybe not clicking on all cylinders in an environment like that, to be able to find a way to gut it out and win. I think some of those games we played earlier in the season kind of prepped us for that, and we didn't win all those games, but I think it's helped us in a few games late in the season kind of get over the hump. Because of the King of the Bluegrass experience, the games that we got up there, and playing good Pastor Tennessee down at Hoop Fest, and some of those games that we came out a few points short in, we really kind of won in those situations, because it's helping us at this point in the season. So I don't think we're going to go up there and play against anybody that we're going to be starstruck by or scared of, because we've already had those games earlier in the season when that should have happened, and we played good in Ashland and Louisville Trinity. We played good in those games. We were ahead by 16, 18 points in the first half in both of those games and just couldn't hold on to win. But I think I hope that's gonna really benefit us here towards the end of the season.
Now, did I see this morning on Twitter that Travis had been rated by ESPN the #1 guard in his class in the state of Kentucky and maybe top 20 in the nation?
I don't know. I have not seen that.
Yeah.
That would be news to me.
Just caught it this morning on Twitter, and I thought, wow, that's a pretty big deal.
Right. No, I don't know. I have not seen that. Me and Travis aren't aware of that. If that's the case, so
I'll try to look that up and send it to you if I can.
Yeah, send that to me. I'd like to see that. I'm not sure about that. I haven't seen that.
Travis is up to over 2,600 points now, and I know you guys have an Ole Miss offer on the table. Are you finding that more and more colleges are taking a look at him now?
Yeah, I mean he has had a bunch of interest from the AAU circuit this summer. He had lots of colleges coming to watch him play a lot of games, and those, for the most part, most all those same schools are the ones that are staying in constant communication with Travis, and he's staying in communication with those guys. So we haven't really seen a whole lot of new people come to the table, but there's a lot of schools that have been kind of on him for a little while that are staying in contact, and schools that we like and all that kind of stuff. So he took four visits before the season started, and he went to Cincinnati on a visit, and then he went to Western and Belmont, and he went to Ole Miss on a visit. And so those schools he actually went on campus and did the visit thing. And then there's some of the other schools that he's pretty interested in. We haven't actually made it up to yet. So.
Well, at 28.5 points a game, you can put points up in a hurry, and I know that state record of King Kelly Coleman is out there, about 4,300 and something, and Travis within reach of that with a couple of more years. And I tell you, I've got an autographed basketball that has King Kelly Coleman on it that Bob Mays got for me a couple of years. Well, it's been 4 or 5 years now when the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame opened in E-Town.
Wow.
Bob Mays got that for me. So if Travis gets there, I need an autographed Travis ball,
Yeah, that's really that's pretty cool that you got an autographed ball from King Kelly Coleman. Yeah, no, Travis is doing he's doing a good job. He's doing what the team needs him to do. We got him and Jackson are both kind of giving us what they're going to give us every night, and but as far as chasing points, I mean, Travis he needs to stay healthy and keep doing what he's doing and try to get his wins, and all the points come just by the way he plays. He doesn't have to do anything extra on that. He gets himself in situations, and he wants to score points. And I often joke about it because he wants to score points really because he's got to go home and live with me, and he has to listen to me if we lose. And so that's a little bit of extra motivation, and it actually always has been for him to make sure that we win. But that is something that if it comes, that's really cool.
But you guys have more than one kid. It's more than Travis Perry that's a college kind of athlete. Jackson Shoulders could play college basketball if he wanted to instead of college baseball. Gunner's going to play college baseball. So you've got more than one kid out there that can put points on the board and be productive.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of those guys, like I've begged Jackson for a couple of years to let me get him a college basketball scholarship and go play college basketball, and he just never really wanted to. He loves baseball, and he's really good at it, and it's a little bit less demanding of what you have to do. And Jackson's a great athlete, and he's a great kid, and he could play college baseball, college basketball, whatever he wanted. But yeah, I tried to twist his arm and get him to play college basketball. But I'm excited for him to get to go play college baseball. I think he's going to do big things like he has his whole career. And Gunner Bingham, yes, he's going to Murray State to play baseball. What a best athlete on our team, hands down. Great kid. Good basketball player. He's had a tough break this year. He was out with a broken hand for about 6 weeks, so we're still kind of getting him back. In this Madisonville game that we just played, he played the most minutes he's played since he came back and looked more like kind of getting back into rhythm. And so we're really excited to get him back out there. And then we got the other two guys, Brady Shoulders and Jack Redick, are both going to be Division I college basketball players. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind they're both going to be. And a lot of the schools that we've had come in, and they'll come to Lyon County and watch workouts, and we'll have, all of those guys working out for them. And a lot of these schools are really keeping close tabs on Brady Shoulders and Jack Redick as they progress, because they certainly are.
Well, and the success the Lyon County baseball team has had doesn't hurt you guys either.
Oh no, it's awesome. I mean the baseball team and the program that Coach Baker and Corky and those guys are running down there is top notch, and it just instills confidence. You know, they go about it the same way we go about it. I mean, they're trying to schedule anybody that they can possibly get on the schedule that's gonna make them have a better chance to win at the end of the season. It may mean, I told somebody early in the season whenever they saw our schedule that we may be the best 15-win team in the state of Kentucky when it's all said and done this year. But, you know, it's all about winning at the end of the season, and our baseball team had challenged those guys early last year, and it paid off for them late. And, you know, Coach Baker's a great leader, and they've got a lot of great athletes on that baseball team, and they're fun to watch.
Well, about another month left in the regular season for basketball. What do you guys have to do to get to where you want to get to at the end of the season?
I think we just got to keep, we got to keep getting better. We've gelled pretty well as a team. I think through a lot of the stuff that we've done this year, the trips and stuff. I mean, we've gelled pretty well as a team. So, any given night we can have a couple, 2 or 3 different guys that can step in there and give us what we need. We got a few guys that we know what we're going to get every night. And with high school basketball, the wild card is always what you get from those other spots, and we've been very blessed. And Nick Whalen had a big game for us in the All-A championship game. He was the X factor for our team as far as somebody giving us something that we didn't know we were going to get. So we just got to keep getting that kind of production out of our guys coming off the bench that are getting better and getting more comfortable in there. And our defense needs to continue to get better. Our defense, we spent a lot of time in the last 3 weeks working on defense, and our defense the last week or so has been tremendously better than it was. And we just got to keep them getting better with our defense. And, defense wins basketball games. We're going to score points. We got guys that can put the ball in the basket. But if we defend the way that we're trying to defend, then that keeps us in a lot more games and makes us a lot harder to beat.
Well, you guys, the game plans always go fast, right?
It is. We like to play a fun style of basketball where we're trying to get up 70-plus shots a game. I've looked at some stats a while back, and any game that we got up over 75 shots in, I don't think we've lost one in the last couple of years. And, we're trying to get it down the court fast, and we're trying to own the glass and get shots up on the glass. We feel like that against a lot of teams, if we take a shot in transition or we take a shot early in the possession, that it's just as good as a pass, because we got a lot of guys that are crashing the boards and getting offensive putbacks and things like that. So that's kind of been our philosophy, and the kids like it because they like that they got the green light when they come across half court to, put shots up and, all that kind of stuff. So it's been fun, and those guys have done a good job playing the way we want them to play.
Appreciate you coming in this morning and taking some time with us, and good luck to you guys the rest of the way.
Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it very much.
That is Lyon County boys basketball head coach Ryan Perry. Appreciate his time this morning. Stay with us. Caldwell County wrestling coach Jason Walls will be in the studio with us in just a bit here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kay's Kitchen.
For the Weather Edge Weather Center, mostly sunny skies today, a high 28 degrees. Clear skies tonight, low down to 15. Mostly sunny skies on Friday and Saturday. Friday's high up to 30, Saturday's high 36 degrees. Once again, our forecast today, mostly sunny with a high near 28.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
This is Casey McCoy, and I'm a mortgage loan processor at Farmers Bank. One of my favorite things about our home loan process is that you can apply online whenever it's convenient for you. By applying online, your information is sent directly to our lenders. It's quick and easy and a good way to jumpstart your loan. Apply today at yournxtbank.com. Farmers Bank and Trust Company, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We are back on the Sideline Report at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Again, thanks to Lyon County boys basketball head coach Ryan Perry for stopping by the studio. And joining us now in the studio is Caldwell County wrestling coach Jason Walls. And Jason, good morning. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Mentioned Ryan that Lyon County basketball had a fun season going on. Well, you guys kind of have a fun season going on with the wrestling program too.
We have a good team. Kids have a lot of experience, and they've put in a lot of time over the years, so it's starting to pay off.
Well, you guys kind of knew going into this season that this was going to be a pretty good year, or at least you thought it should be a pretty good year for you guys, right?
Right. I was a little worried about because in the last couple of years the restrictions with COVID, and I was like, please just let it be somewhat normal, because I felt like last year we could have had 5 placers, but we weren't able to do that because of the restrictions they put on us. So, fingers were crossed this season going in, but so far so good.
Well, a lot of that goes back to the postseason, right? They've changed things and they've added the semi-state round, and that kind of really affects who can get to state.
Well, it affects you when it really hurts is when they do it. Like they only took 2 last year. Where they used to take 4. So you're cutting out 50%. This year, even though you're having another tournament added in, they're still taking a bigger majority of people. So you're going to get those true state placers. You may not get like a state qualifier that might have snuck in there from a region that wasn't that strong, but the true kids that should be on the podium will make it this year. I don't feel like last year that was a good representation of every kid that should have been on the podium.
Well, last year the semi-state was just regions 1 and 2. This year it looks to me like it's regions 1 through 4.
Right, but they're taking 8, so you're still going to have 16. Whereas last year they took 2, and you only, you broke it up 2 regions. And so what happens, you get 2 tough regions, you put them together, you've knocked out 50% of the quality wrestlers already, and you haven't even started the state tournament.
Well, and Region 1 is typically pretty tough.
They are. And usually Region 5's pretty tough. I think it's like 8 maybe or 7, one of those. So you start combining those together, you've weeded out some of the tougher competition.
Yeah.
So if you can survive those battles, you've wrestled harder matches in your region semi-state than you're probably going to see at your state tournament.
Yeah. Well, it was absolutely brutal for some of those kids at the semi-state last year up at Apollo, because pretty much if you didn't make the finals, you weren't going to state.
True. I had 3 kids that had 1 loss at semi-state, and they didn't get to go.
But those semifinal rounds last year, that was just it was some awesome wrestling. But at the same time, I mean, those kids knew they had to win that match to get to go on to the state tournament.
Well, what meant more to me, even though those kids got beat, we had talked about it before the tournament, and I saw that from a lot of other teams, and no disrespect to them or how their kid carried themselves, but that just showed the kids that I coach how much character they have, because the kids that came back and got 3rd, they did that for their team.
Yeah.
They didn't do that for themselves because they weren't going to the state tournament. It doesn't matter if they finished 6th or 3rd.
Right.
They didn't get to go. Once they lost the semifinals match, they were done. And I saw a lot of kids from other teams, I quit. I'm done. I don't care if I finish 6th. I forfeit out. My kids didn't do that because they knew that those points carry over, and they also knew we still had kids that's going to make the state tournament, and they were trying to represent Caldwell County as the best they could do, and that, like I said, that just shows character for those kids.
Well, and in a typical year, you have your regional tournament, and the top 4 get to go to state, right?
Right.
And because of COVID last year, that wasn't the case. They had to add the extra round because we couldn't have all these people in one spot.
Right.
But from a wrestling standpoint, it, like you said, it really kind of watered down the state tournament a little bit.
It really did because, you take Riley Johnson's weight class. The guys that he had to wrestle behind were state champion and runner-up, and they placed the top 8. So the top 2 best guys in his weight class he had to beat to even finish in the top 8. The same thing with Colin Teutsch. His was first and third, and then I think my son Colin Walls was first and fifth. So when you look at it like that, it's like you had the champion already, and then you got a kid that's runner up, and it's like you're probably the third best kid, but you're not going to get that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, one thing you guys have going for you this year, you've got the regional tournament at Caldwell County.
We do, and I just heard yesterday that the semi-state's at Union, so that's going to be cool.
Well, and can anybody take down Union in the region this year?
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
Well, I know Paducah Tillman thinks they have a pretty good team too, and you guys have a pretty good team, and Union's always Union, but that string has to end at some point. Somebody's got to get them eventually, right?
Well, they got a lot of things going for them. Community, coach, the coaching staff, the kids buy into the program. So, in order to get to that point, you really gotta have the full package. And they snuck in there because by the time when I started coaching here, I think it was 2007. They started middle school wrestling in 2000. I wasn't affiliated with the coaching here then. Like I was officiating, but that was the first thing I noticed. Hey, these guys are getting a lot of experience before they ever get to high school. They got about 7 years on me before you're playing catch up the whole time. If you don't do that, you'll never catch them.
Yeah.
You got kids that are, they might have 10 years experience before they even hit high school. It's hard. You can't mimic that. You can't coach it. I don't care how talented a kid is. They can't fast forward that. You got to put the time in to get to there.
Yeah. Well, having region here this year and then having the semi-state at Union County has to be an advantage because that semi-state could have been anywhere. It could have been Bardstown or someplace.
It makes it good, and it would be awesome if we could ever have state tournament here because, it's a little different when you sleep in your own bed versus sleeping in a hotel or, and having to work on schedules and meals. And there's a lot of other factors that play into it when you can just go to the tournament and go straight home.
Right.
We've never had that luxury, especially at the state level. I would see guys, even when I was younger, I'm talking to them, they're like, yeah, we're fixing to go home. I'm like, home? What?
Yeah.
We go to hotels. And they're like, no, we're just right down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're in the Lexington area, you're usually in pretty good shape because usually that's at the Kentucky Horse Park.
Right.
But because of COVID, I don't think the Kentucky Horse Park people will let the KHSAA use their facilities right now. Right. So that's why the state tournament has been moved last year and this year. And what did you guys think of the new gym up at George Rogers Clark?
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. I prefer the smaller venues anyway. I like the people packed in. I like the noise level to go up. I'm loud as a coach, and I just like it. I like a loud atmosphere. I think because it can work into your favor. You get the ball rolling in your court, and the fans and the people are behind you. A lot of times you don't get tired.
Yeah.
The kid he's exerting all this energy, but he's not feeling it because you're just feeding him with all this energy.
Yeah.
So I like it. When you get to the bigger venues where it's hard, you feel like you're screaming and you're right across the room, but you can't hear them.
Yeah. Well, does it just become a numbers game when you get to the state tournament as far as this facility can put this many mats out there and this gym can only have this many mats, and you kind of run into, you can only have so many matches going at one time?
Right. It does. But sometimes, like, I felt like the horse park was too big. I liked the when we were in Frankfort. I liked it a lot better than the horse park, and even if you wanted to do more tournaments and like they're doing right now, to where you get a smaller venue, as long as you're not cutting out a big chunk of good wrestlers, I wouldn't. I mean, I would be all on board for it. I just don't like when you really start trying to water it down before you get to the state tournament. Well, it makes it not a very good state tournament.
Right. Now, when you guys host the region, will you run 3 mats that day?
3.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And we actually, our regions, because they realigned us, so we're picking, it's going back to like 2013, I think, when we had Paulo and Davies and Owensboro. I guess now that we're realigned this year, they're going to be in our region.
Okay. Well, Caldwell County gets to host the regional this year, and as we mentioned, Union County is going to host the semi-state, so that'll be good. Need to get to a break here on the Sideline Report. We're talking with Caldwell County Wrestling Coach Jason Walls this morning. Stay with us here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Treasures Remembered Florist and Greenhouse.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, mostly sunny skies today, a high 28 degrees. Clear skies tonight, low down to 15. Mostly sunny skies on Friday and Saturday. Friday's high up to 30, Saturday's high 36 degrees. Once again, our forecast today, mostly sunny with a high near 28.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Are you struggling to afford health care medications? Let Health First help you. Whether you are insured, uninsured, or underinsured, you will still be cared for at Health First Community Health Center. We offer financial and prescription assistance to all those that qualify, which is based on income and household size. Contact our office at 1-877-667-7017 for more information, or visit our website, healthfirstchc.net. Same-day appointments and walk-ins are welcome. At Health First, your health is our first concern.
This is the Sideline Report at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for joining us this morning. Caldwell County Wrestling Coach Jason Walls in the studio with us right now, and do want to remind everyone, first of all, that I have been notified that Caldwell County girls basketball will play tonight over at Dawson Springs. That game is on. Thankfully, the weather, for the most part, missed us, so Lady Tiger basketball will play at Dawson Springs tonight, 6 o'clock varsity action. You can listen to that game right here on WPKY tonight. Also in town tonight, though, it's senior night for Caldwell County's wrestlers. So, Jason, you guys will be busy tonight with a big match against Union County.
Yes. Yeah, we actually have 4 seniors on the team, but one of them he's out of our lineup because of COVID, so he won't be there tonight, but we have 3 that we'll be honoring as seniors.
And that'll be a big matchup with Union to get to see them right before the regional, too.
Well, we've seen them already, But I was kind of hoping we were going to get to see Paducah Tillman, but they've had a lot of kids that have tested positive, so they pulled out.
Well, talk about your 4 seniors, and of course, all those guys have had really good seasons.
Yeah, I guess the 3 of them would be almost like cookie cutters because they all started when they were like 3 years old. So yeah. They started; those 3 started wrestling in my living room, so they've grew up with wrestling, and they have a lot. Like you start with Riley Johnson. He's a 2-time state placer. He was one of those I said earlier that got should have been a 3-timer already, but he kind of got cut short from the way the state tournament was set up. Right now he's undefeated. He's got 36 wins. Then you have Ethan Newsom. He's the one that he came in as a freshman. So he is, we were talking about that this year, that watching him wrestle, it actually looks like he's kind of doing the moves. And it's funny how, even though, you're probably a pretty good athlete, and with him, he's got unbelievable strength, that it still takes a while, kind of muscle memory to look like you know what you're doing. But he won't be in our lineup tonight, like I said, due to the COVID issues. And then Dylan Walls, he's been on the podium several times for us and put in a lot of years. And then his brother, Colin, who's been on the podium his sophomore year.
Well, when you look at the season you guys have you finished worse than second or third anywhere?
No, actually, it's funny. Last weekend, we only had 7 guys that finished third. We put everybody in the finals. Yeah.
Well, a strong year for you guys. And again, what do you guys have to do now to get ready for the regional tournament? And do you set goals going into that thing? Do you know how many people you want to try to qualify for the next round, or how does that work?
Well, you want to qualify everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't really, I mean, we set goals. I don't really discuss them myself. I have my own little mindset of what I would like to achieve out of them, and then they set their own goals. And I know what their goals are. They know what their goals are, but we don't share their goals. Like, I put them in their locker, and that's where they stay. I had a guy tell me one time, when you start talking about your goal, it's almost subconsciously you feel like you've already achieved it because you're talking about it. So once they've made that goal, the only 2 people that know is me and them. And so, but I do know when they're slacking off, I'll ask them, do you think that goal is going to be achieved with that kind of effort? And that usually gets them going in the right direction. So,
what time are you guys wrestling tonight?
5:30 will be weigh in. 6 o'clock we'll start wrestling.
And just you guys in Union County
yes.
tonight?
Yeah, I couldn't get anybody else to sign up for that. Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to happen once Paducah Tillman backed out, but that's okay.
Well, when you look at Union County and Caldwell County and Paducah Tillman, all of you guys are ranked really high in the state.
Top 5.
Yeah.
That's why I was hoping we could all kind of see how it all played out, but oh well.
Well, that's what I was getting to earlier, that the first region is really kind of stacked when you look at wrestling, because you've got Union County, you've got Paducah Tillman, you've got Caldwell County, and all 3 of those are having really good seasons. Of course, Union County always, I think, is having a good season, but if you can win in the regional, you feel like you can do pretty well elsewhere.
Usually do.
Yeah.
And Region 1, which now these days you get covered so much more, but Region 1 throughout the years, if you look back through wrestling, it's altered what teams are doing good then, but they've always had a strong representation at the state tournament level. Yeah. I can remember when I was in school, it was Hoptown. Hoptown was always Hoptown, Caldwell County, and Union County were the 3 teams that were really kind of dominant in this area, but they also would go to state tournament. It wouldn't be out of the norm to have your top 4 in districts become your top 4 in regions, become your top 4 at the state tournament.
Yeah.
So you would literally take your district, go to a regional, that other regional. They didn't get to send anybody.
Yeah.
Their whole region had to sit at home and watch District 1 wrestle at the state tournament.
Well, talking about dual matches facing Union County tonight, you guys haven't dropped many dual matches this year.
1.
Yeah.
1, yeah. And actually the one that we dropped was when the tornado came through. I had 4 kids that were affected. We couldn't get a hold of. And they weren't on the trip. Otherwise, we probably could have won that one.
Oh, wow. Well, and in the past, we've typically struggled in that area just because we didn't have the numbers.
And that's why the kids don't even get bent out of shape about it. Just like this last weekend, we had 7 guys. They kind of just laughed because they've all been with me since the beginning. They know I don't care. I don't care about my record. My record goes, the only person that's important to is me. They don't keep the coaches' records. It's all about how the kid finishes and where they go. So I don't care. I just, if we have kids that are going to be able to wrestle and I'm told we can wrestle, we're going to wrestle. Now, I've went to tournaments. I went to Lafayette one time, and it was a dual tournament, and I had 6 kids with me, and it was a dual tournament. I think I took 5 losses that day because there was no way I could win. But I had a kid end up placing in the top 4 of the tournament because the way they branched it off, he ended up individually, he got to keep wrestling. So that was a big deal.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY, Princeton, Kentucky. Jason Walls, Caldwell County wrestling coach, is with us this morning. And looking ahead a little bit, a regional tournament, I believe, is February 12th at Caldwell County. Semi-state is the next weekend at Union County, and then state the next weekend up in Winchester. So that's a lot of wrestling action. And again, what do you guys kind of work on or try to get better at heading into regional tournament time?
Well, at this point, you're trying to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start hearing about all these teams that are having issues, you really want to make sure that we're just staying healthy, because if you're not healthy, you're not going to be able to compete anyway.
Right.
And then just fine tune the things that you've already developed. What's working for you, make it, keep using that, keep going to that, and definitely conditioning.
Hopefully a big turnout for the regional tournament because it's here this year. I know, was it last year at Union County, and those people turn out big time for that.
Right. They do.
So that always makes a big deal to have a big crowd behind you. And tonight's wrestling's at the middle school, right?
No.
Oh,
it'll be at the high school.
Okay, cool. So it's at the high school tonight. So 6 o'clock,
6
about
o'clock.
there for wrestling.
Yes.
And then are you going to do the senior night before?
We haven't discussed that. I'm usually told what to do.
I got you.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can go watch the Tiger Wrestlers tonight at the high school. And we'll have basketball action on WPKY tonight. The Lady Tigers will be over at Dawson Springs. That's a 6 o'clock varsity game tonight. So varsity action first, and we'll be on the air about 5:30 with Dennis and Bob from Dawson Springs tonight. I'll be out at wrestling tonight for senior night. So, Jason, I'll see you guys out there.
Cool.
Right. Thanks for coming in this morning. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
That is Tiger Wrestling coach Jason Walls. Also, thank you to Lyon County boys basketball head coach Ryan Perry for coming in and being on the Sideline Report this morning. That's going to wrap us up for this Thursday. This is Todd Griffin of WPKY Radio and YourSportsEdge.com. Thanks a lot for joining us here on 1580 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY Princeton. Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The Democrats' voting rights legislation is blocked again in the Senate.
On this vote, the yeas are 52, the nays are 48.
Those 52 are every Republican and 2 Democrats, Joe Manchin and Kristen